name is Chris, and I have a problem with collecting the same records over and over and over again. I have many examples of this throughout my collection, but in honor of the real 51st anniversary, which is today, March 10th, I'm going to discuss this. This album was released 51 years ago today in the United States. Wikipedia will tell you March 1st. Google will tell you March 1st. Many articles online will tell you March 1st, but I know it is today, March 10th. I know because the Pink Floyd archives tells me so, and I trust them, and I've trusted them for over 30 years. They have all the information about all the pressings of all Pink Floyd. Very exhaustive work they've done, and it's really great for us Pink Floyd fans. Dark Side of the Moon was released in the UK on March 24th, 1973. March 10th here in the United States. There are just over 1,000 different variations of vinyl pressings on Earth. This is the very first pressing. This is from the UK. It's a gatefold. It has the two stickers and the two posters. A quick way to tell a first pressing in the UK is the solid blue triangle, or in Pink Floyd speak, we call that the prism. Subsequent pressings had an outline of the prism as opposed to the solid light blue that you have here. The very first pressings can also be identified in the dead wax, the matrix. A2, B2 is the very first pressing of this album. The A2, B2 has a pressing defect on side 2 during Money, and on some of the copies, it even skips. This was quickly fixed and replaced by an A3, B2 version. People pay big money for this A2, B2, but if you want the best version, in my opinion, you will get the A3, B2. It doesn't have the skip. It sounds great. There has been no other pressing that matched the A3, B2 pressing. According to everyone in the world, this is the best pressing you could possibly get. Again, this came with 2 posters and 2 stickers. Most of the pressings in the UK and the United States came with 2 posters and 2 stickers. Some came with 2 posters and only 1 sticker. The European posters and sticker differ a little bit from the United States pressing. This is an A3, B3. This is a second pressing, and you can tell the difference is that the prism isn't all light blue. It's an outline in blue. That is the quick way to tell if you have a first pressing, and this is not a first pressing. This is an A3, B3, which is equivalent to the A2, B3, which is the best sounding version you can get of this. So this is a way cheaper version of this than getting an A2, B2. I got my first copy back in 1983 in high school. This is the 1983 US version on Capitol Records. I even wrote my name on it so my shady friends at the time wouldn't steal it. It doesn't have the poster or the stickers. I think I put the stickers on my folders in school and the posters in my bedroom. There's a barcode. The first barcodes that they put on Dark Side of the Moon was 2 years earlier in 1981. It's the Rainbow Capitol Records. If you can see, I wrote my name there. I covered up my last name to protect my identity because of the trolls. You know, those Dark Side of the Moon trolls. It's a real thing. This is my high school copy of Dark Side of the Moon. This is what started all of this mess. My other copies of Dark Side of the Moon. This is from Columbia. This is a fourth pressing Columbia. It's in Spanish. That is from Colombia. This next one is from Yugoslavia. This is an interesting one because in Yugoslavia, they released the quad version. For some reason, they only got the quad tapes and not the stereo tapes. The quad is the 4-channel mix that they did at the same time when they had the stereo mix. It's really interesting to hear the quad mix on a stereo. I've never heard it quad on vinyl, but I have it on SACD. The Harvest label from Yugoslavia. Everything is in English. Harvest label. This next one is on Amiga. This is from East Germany. This came out, it's a reissue in 1980, and actually I think this is the first pressing from East Germany from 1980. Interesting non-gatefold cover. It's got Amiga there up on the left. And it's got these blue labels. Everything's in English. East Germany. This next one is a reissue from Argentina. I went to Argentina about 15 or 16 years ago with my wife, and we went record shopping, and I found this. I couldn't find a first pressing. It's got a hype sticker. Argentina was beautiful. It's got an interesting harvest blue type of label. Argentina. This next one is from Peru. It's a second pressing. Peruvian. My wife is from Peru. We've been there many times looking for records, and we always pick up some form of Pink Floyd. I've got many Peruvian pressings of The Wall and Obscured by Clouds. It says Peru down the bottom. Traditionally, Peruvian pressings aren't really great. This is super clean, but it's not my go-to pressing. It's got the title, Lado Obscuro de la Luna. That's the extent of my Spanish. I'm going to guess that says Dark Side of the Moon. Peru. This one is an interesting one. It's got like a different cover. There's no gatefold. This is Dark Side of the Moon from the Philippines. And it actually prints out in bold type, The Dark Side of the Moon. This is the first pressing. English on the back. This is also available on cassette and cartridge. On the bottom, it says made and printed here in the Philippines. It has the light blue outline of the prism. It says Harvest and EMI. Dark Side of the Moon, the Philippines. In 1979, when they released The Wall, this came out. This is the mobile Fidelity version. It came out in June 1979. It's the very first time it came out with mobile Fidelity. How you can tell a first pressing from a second pressing is the first pressing says original master recording, blocked straight letters, and a second pressing, they're italicized. I'll show that second pressing in a second. This is the same as the original cover, except it's got this strip, original master recording. Super high fidelity is the hype. These didn't come with a poster, but it has a mobile fidelity warranty card. It has a thicker cardstock on the mobile fidelity process. And then it has the catalog of original master recordings. It also has that. There are no posters and there are no stickers with this. People really like this. This first pressing commands a premium, especially when it has all the appropriate inserts. The label is different than the other versions, and that is the 1979 US first pressing Mobile Fidelity. I have a second 1979 version. You've got the blocked text there. And if you look at the second pressing that came out in 1981, it's italicized. You can see the subtle differences. It's got also different inserts. But this is the first pressing, and this is the second pressing, 1979 and 1981. In 1988, Pink Floyd minus Roger Waters was touring Australia, and this was released in Australia. This is Dark Side of the Moon on pink vinyl. It came with 2 stickers, 2 posters, and on pink vinyl. For some reason, this came out on quad, so they released this in quad. Maybe they could only get the master tapes for quad, but back to the quad version, a really interesting version, and I do like listening to it. That is Australia on pink vinyl. This is the 2003 European pressing of Dark Side of the Moon, the 30th anniversary. It says original packaging including stickers and posters, heavyweight version vinyl plus new 30th anniversary poster. This is considered the second best version of this album, the first one being that A2B2 or that A2B3 UK pressing. This is getting harder and harder to find. If you do see one that is clean, I would pick it up. Really good pressing. Europe, 2003, 30th anniversary. They did another reissue campaign in 2016, and I know that is sourced from a digital master. People kind of bag on it, but it actually sounds really good, and it's very inexpensive. I have it somewhere. Well, actually, I think I give it away, and that's why it's not in these piles. In 2023, they had a 50th anniversary of Dark Side of the Moon. The hype sticker says remastered for the 50th anniversary on heavyweight 180 gram vinyl, produced by Pink Floyd. It's got 2 posters and 2 stickers. It's got the usual blue outline of the prism, but it says Pink Floyd Records, which eventually Pink Floyd got their rights to their songs back, and you've been using Pink Floyd Records to put out things. But that is the 2023 50th anniversary on black vinyl. This is the 2024 Dark Side of the Moon 50th anniversary. This is the cover or the sleeve for the actual jacket. Really nice. It's got the 2 posters. It's got the 2 stickers. But what makes this different from the 2023 is it's got clear vinyl. There's music on side 1 and side 3. On side 2 and 4, it's just like a art print on this. There's no vinyl on this side. There's no tracks on this side. I wish they just would have made it 45 RPM and have a nice, good audiophile experience instead of this, but it still sounds really good. 2024 Dark Side of the Moon Clear Collector's Edition. About 3 or 4 years ago, Project released the Dark Side of the Moon turntable, and of course, I had to grab that to go with my albums. It's really beautiful. The prism looks really nice under the right lighting condition, and it's great, and it sounds really good. It's got a very good cartridge, and I'm very happy to have that at my office. If you made it this far, then you're probably interested in the singles. There were only 2 singles released from the album Dark Side of the Moon, Money and the B-side Us and Them. and then also Us and Them and the B-side, Time. There also was a jukebox promo of Time and Breathe, which I still don't have. There is this US promo. It's called The Dark Side of the Moon. I've known it as The Dark Side of the Moon EP. Side 1's got Time and Breathe, and side 2 has Us and Them and Money. What's interesting is the version of Time, they removed the clock in the beginning of that song, and they've changed it up a bit. So a very interesting version of this. This is a radio station promo, and it reads, Pink Floyd's latest #1 album, Dark Side of the Moon, went platinum a few months after release, with smash sales surpassing 3 times those of a standard gold album. Here are 4 representative selections taken from the Dark Side of the Moon LP, edited down for your airplay convenience. I probably should check in and see what differences are on the edits of the other songs. The Harvest promo. This is referred to as the Mexican EP, Dinero, and Us and Them in Spanish. Actually, looks like that. They were on Capitol in Mexico, Money, and Us and Them. Money for Mexico. This is the French version of Money and Any Color You Like. The green Harvest label. France. This is the German picture sleeve. Money on the A side, Any Color You Like on the B side. Again on the Harvest green label. Germany. This is from Belgium. On the Harvest label. Money, Any Color You Like, on again the green Harvest label. Belgium. This one is from Italy. Money on the A side and Any Color You Like on the B side. On the back, it lists the tracks for Dark Side of the Moon, all of the tracks, but this is just Money and Any Color You Like, again on the Harvest green, yellow and green label. Italy. This is probably my favorite Money picture sleeve around the world. This is from Denmark. Look at that cover. Any Color You Like, it's on the back side. It's also advertising Wings, T-Rex, Rick Springfield on the back. But that cover, they're jamming. And finally, we have a different label. It's a black Harvest label. Again, Money from Denmark. In 1982, the UK put out this version of Money. This was promoting the recent compilation album called A Collection of Great Dance Songs. And Capitol Records did not want to give the rights, the license for Columbia CBS to put this out. So David Gilmour came into the studio, re-recorded Money himself, and performed most all of the instruments himself. And this one-track version is that. It's also the song that played on the compilation album, and here is that song. It's a really interesting, unique version, and this one comes on pink vinyl. There's also a 12-inch of this, which I have. In Spain, actually the year before the UK version came out, Spain put this out. It's also that edited version of Money that David Gilmour recorded himself. This is it's the same song on both. It's a radio promo, the same song on both sides. dinero. It says dinero here, it says money here, and then it also says money, and then in parentheses, dinero here. But this is Spain. The last version I have of money is this from France, Dance Forever, Pink Floyd's Money. I guess there's a series of Dance Forever singles that came out. This is the 73 version. They're showing singles by Jimmy McGriff, Peggy Lee, Don McLean, the Rolling Stones, does Angie, Herman's Hermits, but this is Pink Floyd doing Money. This came out in 83, and it's on a nice silver and black label from France. That's my Dark Side of the Moon collection. If you're still watching this, you must be a fan. Thank you for tuning in. I enjoyed showing my Dark Side of the Moon vinyl and the Money singles. I have a lot more pressings on box sets, DVDs, CDs, SACDs, and a hard drive full of different versions and live shows where they perform Dark Side of the Moon. But it's the vinyl that really keeps me going, trying to find different pressings from around the world. I travel a lot, and I always try to pick up a different one. Like and subscribe if you like this type of videos, and I appreciate you watching. Thanks.